In all honesty, Hell on Earth doesn't actually seem all that bad. I mean, it's okay. Probably give it like a 10 or something. You know, speaking of things that I consider Blue Stinger on Dreamcast. This little number was created by Climax Graphics, an offshoot of Climax Entertainment. Now, I may know a Climax or two like the back of my hand, but I can't really say I'm familiar with this kind. Climax Entertainment made turn-based RPGs. I'd name a few, but I've got a good feeling you've never heard of them. I've also got a good feeling you've never heard of Climax Entertainment before either. Anyway, the people behind Climax Graphics wanted to, and in Wikipedia's quote, make more cinematic experiences. And if you've seen this game before in action, then you're probably already well aware of what cinematic means. Their time in the director's chair lasted a total of 2 games, this and 2001's Illbleed. So if you aren't aware of what cinematic means, well then get nice and comfy because I'm gonna show you. It's not gonna be pretty. Don't worry about the disc, by the way, this is all perfectly legal. You see, there's the Sega logo, it's right there. It's just like Sonically says.
What could possibly go wrong?
The game boots up and, well, I guess I've seen worst first impressions. But I've definitely seen better. Dim the lights and grab some popcorn, this is gonna get exciting. It starts with the extinction of the dinosaurs. Okay, pretty hype. Then the Activision logo appears, which is a little less hype, but okay, we can look past that for now. Then, for the pinnacle of excitement, scrolling text. The text explains, here is where we meet 2 people on a boat. One of them is being a jackass, while the other one is picking up air and placing it into a bottle. I think this guy's got a mental disability. He's a bit slow.
I'm just a crew member of the supply ship. Heck, I don't even get permission to enter the residential district on the island. What the hell would I know about that?
That, or the director's drunk off his ass. So, they get to talking about the boat they're on, leading to a discussion of this guy's air containment unit, specifically the figure inside the unit. While asking about it, Elliot emanates serious kid-looking at the cookie jar energy. The guy explains that the figure in the bottle is actually called a Nephilim, and that it's said to bring good luck. While I have my doubts about what the bottle is actually for, my suspicions will have to wait for later, as a meteor drops from the sky and crashes onto Dinosaur Island.
What's going on?
This meteor pisses Elliot off, so he decides to head straight to the island to go kick the shit out of it. But before they can start their boat, a blue dome expands from the meteor, engulfing the island and some of the surrounding ocean. I wish I had something to say about this. But just look at it! The joke writes itself. Well, anyway, a blue light comes from the island to the boat, taking on the form of the Nephilim in the bottle. But before Elliot can decide whether he wants to fuck it or fight it, a swarm of reject Halo designs kamikaze the boat. You know, I have to ask, what was the game plan there? Was that seriously the best these things could think of? Alright man, some motherfuckers on a boat and I don't want him there, so we're gonna run into that bitch and fucking kill the shit out of him. Any questions? Good! Okay soldiers, hoorah! Elliot washes up on the island, where the blue lady from earlier gives us a seizure before fucking off. Now, freshly seized, we begin our journey. And all journeys start with a few steps. Elliot staggers his way to the door when a man dressed in creepy music appears at the edge of the pier. Slightly uneasy from the mystery man's skin tone, Elliot starts to walk a little faster. And a little bit faster, 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 until eventually we come across a bridge. A giant monster drops out of the sky onto the bridge. Elliot is quickly saved by, oh, please, God, don't kill me. I don't have any money. Please, God, don't kill me. I only use a credit card. Dude, what the fuck? If I wanted to rob you, I would have waited until after the monster killed you. You know, that does make sense. Now that I think about it, maybe there are good minorities after all. This is Dogs. He's the captain of the SS Diana. How he got onto the pier unnoticed is a complete mystery. However, he's decided to put his life of stalking behind him to join our party. So Elliot and Dogs walk down to another bridge where another monster jumps out of the water. This time they're saved by a sniper inside the lab named Janine King, who's
my kind of girl, so stay away from her.
About a few and a half minutes of dicking around later, we find the room Janine locked herself in. When asked for a passcode, Elliot responds,
my sweetheart.
And you let him in? Are you on fucking crack, lady? Any reasonable person would have just kept Elliot out. And to be fair, I'd prefer if the game just stopped right there and Elliot was left out for dead. But, unfortunately, Janine lets the duo in.
I knew it. She's perfect. She's my kind of girl.
Elliot, please, just shut up. Suddenly, Janine becomes contestant number 3 to America's hit game show, Can You Fill the Blue Lady Full of Holes? Of course, the answer is still no. Elliot gives the blue lady the name Nephilim, telling Janine and Dogs that she's harmless, despite the seizure a few minutes ago.
You know, at this point, nothing surprises me anymore. My name's Janine King. Nice to meet you, Elliot.
Janine King. Elliot.
Let me introduce Janine King.
Introduce? Motherfucker, you know just as much about Janine as Dogs does. What the fuck do you mean, introduce? But apparently Janine knows Dogs.
His name is
A little too much.
He's a captain of the SS cargo Deanna.
What? You guys know each other?
You know, you shouldn't run up your bill at Rat's place. Your name is on their blacklist. You're pretty famous.
God damn son of a bitch.
So who do we got here? Let's see. Creepy weirdo who makes unwanted advances, stalker, and a ghost stalker. Great! Just the ragtag group of freaks this island needs. Our first course of action to figure out the secrets of the island is to go to the bar. Without much hesitation, we begin making our way to the bar. You know, if this game had to win an award for anything, it'd win the award for most overdramatic soundtrack of 2001. No matter where you go, even if there's no enemies around, this loud-ass orchestra follows you like a dog to shitty underwear. Seriously though, imagine if this shit followed you around in your day-to-day life. Anyway, we make our way down to the bar. Unfortunately for us, there's a giant-ass wall in our way, and our only other method of getting to Rat's place is through the freezer, which is locked. So we'll just have to take a detour through the market. First thing we see inside the market is a giant kiosk for a stamp rally. The stamps feature 4 characters from Pen Tricellathon. Not a game I expected to think about today, in all honesty. After picking up the stamp card, I head to the vending station for a Hassie, as Elliot's looking a little worse for wear after attempting to stunlock some enemies. And of course, typical American grocery stores. It's like Walmart always says, save money, pop a fool, Walmart. I wander around the market a little while, collecting stamps and stuff, when Janine interrupts us with gaming's most awkward interaction.
What are you doing? Did you go to Rat's place?
I'm looking for Taco Pen.
I guess she doesn't understand jokes.
I love these kind of chicks.
But Elliot always has to make it worse, doesn't he? Well, anyway, I found all the stamps. Now it's time to head over to level 2 of the market. On level 2, this guy tells us he's got the freezer key in the safe on his desk. We grab it, then head all the way back to the wall, where the freezer awaits. Now, as the name suggests, the freezer is a cold place. Naturally, that puts us on a time limit of not freezing to death. Luckily for us, the freezer is kind of small, and there are also a few rooms to reset our temperature. If I could just get into the room. Yes, I know the door's locked. Use the key, jackass! Unluckily for us, the freezer is quite a cramped spot, too. Goons seem to enjoy the weather down here. Given the freezing to death part, we can't exactly stick around to give everybody a wedgie, so we're just gonna have to keep pressing on. Soon enough, we obtain a machine room key. Heading into the room the keycard belongs to, suddenly a boss. Wow, okay, now? He's in much trouble, really, but he seems to be a bit slow. And honestly, I'm more afraid of freezing to death than I am of this thing. Now I just feel bad. But it's either me or him. Somehow, he was holding the key to the next room. We steal that shit from him and go turn on heating express mode, which hasn't changed much. We can now burn to death and everything is red. Busting through the freezer, now able to walk through some places we couldn't before, I reach some water. I hop in, and now I'm stuck. Well, fuck. How the hell do I swim? I try pressing up on the stick, hoping that at least Elliot's little twinkle toes will inch him back to land, but no such luck. I'll just sit here like a jackass waiting for the lifeguard to come save me. Turns out the input I'm looking for is the B button, and... God, maybe it was for the best I didn't know how to swim. Because now I'm stuck in a god-awful water maze with some shark in the water that's 10 times faster than me. Bastard's a gold medalist. I mean, I barely made it out alive and... Fuck.
Get up, pussy. You won't.
That wasn't too bad, actually. Yeah, sure, I was one hit away from death, but for the most part, this guy was just as dumb as the last one. This monster was also holding a key. How will forever be the elusive question, but we should just get a move on regardless. We make our way outside, where the music is just as dramatic as ever, and the interactions are just about as strange. So with a gross mishandling of firearms and a gift to a little girl who now seems content to stand around for the rest of time, we finally make our way to Rat's place. Inside we find a secret wine cellar, which houses oodles of booze, Rats himself, and a bunch of shit we need for progression, including a driver's license, an ID, and a key that I couldn't see the first time around and had to go all the way back to get, which may have caused me to throw myself at a dead end way more times than I care to admit. The key allows us to enter the tackle shop, where we can find some fish poison that'll allow us to pass the previously deadly dead end, which has now created a shortcut from here back to the market, allowing us to bypass the freezer at a blazing fast 2 miles per hour, translating to roughly 3.21,869 kilometers per hour. Nice.
What a thrill, with darkness and silence through the night.
We make our way back to base and give Janine the ID, but now the crew really want to end this conversation fast.
I guess we gotta give it up. The electric system is dead. We can't get into the host of the lab.
We have a light here.
It's coming from a different route. I'll bet you need a bigger electric system in the deep island.
What are they doing in such a place?
The lab there is called Fossil Home. Even security guards are not allowed to get in there. It's like a black box. I've never seen anything like it.
Can we get to the electric system?
I guess. We have Chris's ID.
Good. I'll go. Hey, dogs.
What?
Stay with Janine. I kind of have a bad feeling. When it comes to bad luck, my hunches tend to be right on.
Never mind. I don't need a guardian.
She made a choice.
The game gives us another cutscene. I don't even know how to describe it. It just feels like this comes out of nowhere and then continues to never be explained. But what Dog says right after is probably the best part.
What a bitch.
As we make our way to our next destination, we run across Your Mother's Ass Crack. Population Taco Bell. In all seriousness though, we do need to cross this pit. But the only thing we can find is this giant ass oil tanker. Our ingenious master plan to get over this ravine is to run up the oil tanker. Hold on, I'm not done. To run up the oil tanker while it's exploding. And to have the force from the explosion send us all the way to the other side. And the whole time this bitch was ready to blow, Elliot was stumbling up the stairs like, "Oh, my baby boy rib is hurt. Oh." So after breaking a few more ribs and a stroll up Gobblenov Avenue, we arrive at our next destination, the power plant. Not too much interesting happens in this area, but we walk through some rooms, pressing some buttons and shit. I mean, having to find the gloves to be able to fix the wires was kind of annoying, but you know what, whatever, that's fine. While I was in here though, I found a stun rod. Doesn't look too amazing, let's try it out. Holy fuck! That's not a fucking stun rod! God damn! So you know, I'm running around giving enemies the good old drunk dad with the electric fly swatter maneuver. So you know, just fucking whacking people and shit when I come across this room. We need to turn on the power to progress, that's why we're at the power plant. And even though we fixed everything, power's still not flowing through where we need it to go. As it turns out, the main generator or whatever is swarming with these little bugs. In order to get rid of them, well, I don't know. I honestly don't. I kept firing shots, but every time they get hit, they all just swarm you at once and fucking destroy your health bar. I can't figure out what to do, so I just said fuck it and started blasting. I don't even think that was close to the solution, but hey, whatever makes you come. Now that we've turned down the power, we can head to our second to last stop on our visit to Dinosaur Island. The, lab? I think it's a lab, so I guess we'll just call it the lab. ? In the lab, we find 2 jumpsuits lying on the ground. I'm not quite sure why just yet, but apparently we have a burning desire to put them on. Elliot gets his on just fine, but Doggis is unable to squeeze into a size M, so we've got to go find something more suitable. We end up with a Santa suit, leading to dialogue that can only be described as ho, horrible.
It suits you.
When you have a kid, I'll visit you from the chimney.
That day might come soon.
We enter this room with a slime in it, and guess what? This thing sucks balls. It's real easy, slow as shit, and it doesn't have a real long-range attack. Though you wouldn't figure that out on your first time. This thing's got like 2 animations total, so you'll just have to assume you're doing damage. And if you get hit, well, that's just a skill issue. Be better next time. The next room over is filled with spicy purple and... Jesus fucking Christ, what was that? Oh... It's just a sign that this section is gonna be fun. So you know how in games, the fun ones mind you, we'll take Resident Evil for example, in the fun games, the camera tends to be fixed. Why is that? Well, because if you don't, you get Blue Stinger for the Dreamcast, where enemies appear just off screen to fucking assault you. The fights in these spaces become difficult, because when foes are especially agile, you'll find the cameraman drunk off his ass, making combat a challenge, regardless of your long-range weapons having a sort of loose lock-on. You know, I wonder how long it would take Albert Einstein to figure out this part of the game. I couldn't even begin to imagine. I mean, even if he and Thomas Edison were to rub their little light bulbs together and summon the electric genie, they'd probably only get about halfway before they went insane and kissed each other in the electric chair. What was I saying again? Oh, right. Most of the time I spent in the lab was just me dicking around. I'd find like one new bit of information, wander around for about an hour, then realize nothing was working, only to finally discover the one spot I missed. I put the thing in the hole, didn't really do much of note, so it's back to wandering around like a jackass. So about an hour of nothing happens, walking through abandoned mine shafts, swimming in deadly fish tanks, etc. We then make our way to the Gigadent, where we watch a replay of the asteroid hitting the island. It passes through the satellite, busts right through the horizontal line like it's nothing, then gets stopped in the shutters. It's obvious that there's something down there that the asteroid wants. But why are the shutters there? Did the researchers know this would happen? Or is it protection against, I don't know, things that dig holes in specific spots in the Earth that just so happen to have a sleeping demon living inside of them? Or was it so that we could go through one of the worst sections in the whole game? Because now that I'm thinking about it, that might be the one. You know it's a bad omen when the first time I entered this cutscene my game crashed. Anyway, we head back to base to figure out what the next step is. We learn that the asteroid we just saw is connected to Nephilim, and we want to drop that bitch onto the big monster. How? We don't know. All we're told is Janine needs a rifle in her flat, so we have to go get it. We discovered that you guys like tight hallways. So, we've decided to put you in even tighter hallways. But guess what? That's not even the best part. The best part is that we filled the hallways with a bunch of stupid fucking flying enemies, as well as like one dude who's just the right size to be in your fucking way. Why? Well, because we want to see you fucking suffer, that's why. Considering the wild goose chase the game puts you in as well, having to find Janine's room, then having to run all around every other fucking room in the goddamn building in a specific order, which by the way are almost all full of goons in tight spaces, feels like this was all done on purpose to fuck with me. And I'm not having any fucking fun. This shit is just pissing me off. Finally, after crawling through hell and back, we get the rifle. We also learn that Dogs is Janine's dad. Why? Who cares? I don't care. It's not my fucking problem. Quick question. Have you ever played TF2? You know that one map, 2 Fort, right? Well, when I was a kid, I had a copy of the orange box for the Xbox 360. I think you know where this is going, but let me finish before you start booing. Being the dumb kid I was, I'd always pick 2 Fort, and I'd do this every time. Yeah, I was that kid. But little did I know my skills would be called upon one last time. In order to open the rest of the shutters, Janine needs to shoot a thing with the rifle we gave her. But she needs to set it up first, which will take exactly 3 minutes and 45 seconds. Why? I can't be bothered to care. Contrived padding, I guess. Anyway, 2 goons, who I guess were just waiting for this moment all their lives, spring out of the closet. These 2 are invincible. However, they're the slow walker type. Essentially, the game has thrown you into a room with 2 sentient sandbags. You could do this normally, but we're gonna cheese it because that's where the 2 Fort tech comes in. Most of the time, Dogs sucks. Yeah, sure, Elliot's way with women leaves much to be desired, but in gameplay terms, he's better. But once or twice has Dogs come in handy. And this is the twice I'm talking about. This is real simple to pull off. Just pick a corner, any corner, sit there with the Gatling equipped, and tap the fire button for about 3 minutes 45 or until golden brown. Finish that, and you'll see Nephilim and the demon fighting like 5-year-olds struggling over a lemon. That goes on until you have to actually fight the demon, who shouldn't be difficult. This bitch has like 1 move. But sometimes God just wants to remind you that he doesn't love you and you will most definitely burn in hell. And guess what? That 2 Fort shit from before, you gotta do it all over again. Resulting in essentially a 6-minute cutscene every time you fail. God, it's just so frustrating. Makes you want to just fuck. No, I don't want to fuck. Wait, maybe I do? But the only penetration that's gonna fucking happen is when this dick penetrates this motherfucker's skull. BAM! Get fucked! You fucking Nazi whore, you stupid ass fuck cunt bitch ass motherfuck! Fucking eat the shit out of my fucking ass, you sloppy whore! Woo! Yeah! Fuck! So, the demon dies, the day is saved, I suppose, and the game ends on a cliffhanger. All is well in the world now that I don't have to deal with this game's shit anymore. However, despite all the shit, the game is still kind of fun. I mean, it's not super well made, it's kind of solid though. A rough around the edges type of solid. Story-wise, it has a so bad it's good quality. A barrel of laughs. But the gameplay is just kinda okay. If I had to pull out one of my reviewer words, I'd probably say clunky best describes the movement. Unfortunately though, the gameplay takes a nosedive around the end. The game seems to revel in outstaying its welcome, so it's more like a rogue barrel of laughs that fell off a pickup truck and into oncoming traffic, causing a massive 15-car pileup.
What a bitch.